of 2018. My name is Peter Lyden. I've been filming now for about 10 years. Throughout my time in railroading, and rail fanning I should say, I've covered a lot of trains and interesting territories, throughout, the northeastern region. But this past year, 2018, covered more rail events than before in my rail fanning history. This year, we had a lot of interesting aspects come to, both New Jersey Transit, SEPTA, Amtrak, etc. One of the highlights of this year were the MARC equipment coming up to New Jersey Transit from Maryland to free up cars for PTC installation. Not only that occurred back in May, but we also had the Union Pacific Office Car Special that made a visit up to New Jersey back in June. And then later in the year, we had the Bennett Lyden E8s, Pennsylvania Railroad, make their way up to New York State to run their Toys for Tots, since Amtrak pulled out of it at the very last minute. So those are just some of the highlights, but in this video, you will see the top 5 best catches of the year. And albeit there were a lot of them, it was very hard to kind of pick and choose. But I narrowed it down to just 5 of the top best catches throughout the year. Last year, 2017, featured a lot of interesting catches as well. But this year, definitely topped the record of some of the best train catches in Pete Lyden rail fanning history. So in this video, we will count down the top 5 best catches of the year of 2018. I hope you guys enjoy it. So sit back and watch and enjoy the ride as we count down the top 5 best train catches of 2018. Now, we begin our countdown with a rather ordinary but interesting catch of the 2018 year. Back during the beginning of last year, SEPTA purchased brand new ACS-64 locomotives to replace their fleet of the AEM-7s, which have been around since the 1980s. These locomotives were used to haul their push-pull express trains from Philadelphia to all points of the Philadelphia region. It was time for these locomotives to retire and make their farewell, as these brand new set of ACS-64 locomotives started to make their mark in SEPTA territory. I was lucky enough to catch a test run of them back in February, which would have made the list, but I wasn't able to find the video for it. So instead, I decided to settle for a good run-by shot at Overbrook of them running on Great Valley Flyer Express train number 9561. Here is number 5 on our list, the SEPTA ACS-64 901 on train number 9561 in Overbrook, taken on July 13th of 2018.
Nah, man, alright, thanks, man. Take it easy. Yes, sir.
This next video, we're going to go back to a couple of weeks ago to the post-Thanksgiving rush along the Northeast Corridor. On this day, Amtrak runs several trains from the Northeast Regionals to long distance to holiday express extra services. We're particularly going to go back to when we went to Trenton, New Jersey to film the Amtrak MARC Holiday Extra train number 1063 running from New York to Washington, D.C. This was a very interesting year for Mark, and you will actually see more of that in this video. But for this one, we are going to go back to Trenton, New Jersey on November 25th of 2018 to the post-Thanksgiving rush to get a really cool catch of the ACS 64 number 641 Lyden train number 1063 through Trenton, New Jersey. So, for this next video, we are going to take another look at the Mark equipment, but this time on New Jersey Transit. As I mentioned during the preview, back during the earlier part of the year, we had equipment on New Jersey Transit being taken out of service for positive train control installation. So therefore, Mark leased a set of cars to New Jersey Transit for use on their commuter services. We are going to take a trip to the Raritan Valley line to Somerville, New Jersey, where we caught train number 5733 with the Mark equipment. And this train was actually a double-ended train, where we had a locomotive on either end of the train. Since there were no cab cars, some locomotives had to do double duty and double up as heavy cab cars for use on the trains. So for this video, we are going to go to Somerville, New Jersey to May 23rd, 2018, where we caught the set of Mark equipment on train number 5733 on the Raritan Valley line. Here's number 3 on our list. Well, moving right along, this next video, which is number 2 on our countdown, we are going to go way out of state, up to New York State, where for the first time, actually since I've been rail fanning, this was the first time ever that I got to catch the Pennsylvania Railroad Bennett 11 E8s run on the Toys for Tots from Binghamton, New York to Delancey. For years, the Bennett 11 E8s, which were streamlined under the Pennsylvania Railroad, they ran several excursions throughout New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and other areas of the country. A lot of rail fans out there have gotten their chance to see them. But for me, this was my first time that I ever got to see them run on any type of excursion, really within the country. So, I made the 3.5 to 4 hour trip up to Binghamton, New York to catch them on the Toys for Tots. These locomotives weren't leading, as a pair of NS-SD 60 Max were running the train, but I was able to get them train number, actually there was no train number, or there might have been, but engine numbers 5711, 5809. The Pennsylvania Railroad Bennett 11 E8s run the Toys for Tots. So here's number 2 on our list, and you will be interested to see what number 1 is on our list. But for number 2, we are going to go up to Binghamton, New York, where we caught the Bennett 11 E8s for the very first time ever in my rail fanning history, run on the Toys for Tots excursion from Binghamton. The Toys for Tots was originally run by Amtrak, but since Amtrak pulled the whole train out of service at the very last minute, the state of New York had to step in and run their own Toys for Tots, conjoined with the Norfolk Southern and with the Pennsylvania Railroad. This was a really cool train and a really cool chase, as we got them from Binghamton all the way through all those points up to Delancey. So here's the video of them running out of Binghamton Yard on December 1st of 2018. The Binghamton, New York Toys for Tots train featuring the Pennsylvania Railroad Bennett 11 E8s. Here's number 2.
Go, ho, ho, ho!
Well, I hope you've enjoyed the countdown so far. So far, we've covered number 5, which was the brand new SEPTA ACS 64 on the Great Valley Flyer, number 9561 in Overbrook. Number 4, which was the MARC equipment on Amtrak Train number 1063, the Holiday Extra through Trenton during the post-Thanksgiving rush. Number 3, which was the MARC equipment on New Jersey Transit. And then number 2, which were the Bennett 11 E8 Pennsylvania Railroad on the Toys for Tots train in New York State. Which brings us to number 1. Now, before we get to number 1 on our list, which may surprise you, you might actually think why that, number 2 with the Bennett 11 E8s didn't make the list. Well, I'll tell you. Back in May and June, well actually late May into early June, we had a very rare appearance of a train from the western part of the country that was making a cross-country tour. Now before I let you in on what it is, because you will find out in the video, this was something that the whole railroad community from all over New Jersey came out for. and just went crazy. All rail fans from Pennsylvania all the way through New Jersey into New York State were out for this train. This was a whole weekend affair, basically almost a 2-day chase that took up the entire span of a weekend. It started on May 31st and ended on June 4th. At least through New Jersey. But this was a train that started making its tour all the way back in, like, you know, like early May. And that was in the planning from back in, like, February and March. So this was a bit of a long time coming. And I remember I was out with my rail buddies. We were filming the SA-31 in Farmingdale, or in Howell rather, when I got this notification. So this was a really huge deal. And it was something that you just had to go out for. You legit could not miss it. Because this was basically the train of the year. That's how huge it was. I started in Piscataway on the 31st. And then I ended up in Glen Rock on June 3rd. Now, you don't know what video is going to appear next, because that's what you're going to find out in this #1 video. So, drum roll. This will be #1 on our list, the train of the year. So, well, folks, that about covers our trains, our top 5 catches of 2018. I really hope you enjoyed it. We've basically been all over New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and New York State. Basically, a large part of these catches did take place later in the year. There were some honorable mentions. I do have to mention the test run of the SEPTA ACS 64 back in February. I also have to mention our trip to Scranton, Steamtown, where we got to see the Erie Lackawanna F units on the Scranton Limited. That was a big chase, as well as the fall excursion to Gouldsboro. That was something we've never done before. And, of course, all of the New Jersey Transit MMA equipment moves and SA-31 chases throughout the year. So for those that couldn't make the list, it was an unbelievable year. 2018 easily topped 2017 as one of the biggest and best railroad years on record. 2017 made the list also, but the catches in 2018 cannot be fathomed with any other year. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Be on the lookout for more exciting and interesting train chases to come up this year in 2019. I guarantee you, once this year gets rolling, it's going to be just as good, if not better, than this previous year. 2018 was full of a lot of surprises. And it is, in a way, probably one of the most active years on record. For all the years I've been out rail fanning and railroading, in that instance, 2018 was definitely the best. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you out on the rails.